How do you stay relevant in a $55 billion market when your brand was built before email was even popular?
Chapman
Freeborn.
One of the most influential companies in aviation.
In this episode, we're taking you inside a project with Chapman Freeborn, a £450 million legacy aviation company, where we help them reintroduce themselves to the market with a cinematic brand film that doesn't just tell their story, it moves it. Yo, my name is Oyen Kro, or just O for short, founder of Chaos Visuals. We help B2B brands get loud, sharp, and unignorable, and each week I take you behind the scenes as we turn strategy into story for SaaS, AI, and legacy brands. Building brands that customers love, investors notice, and buyers want. And while we're at it, I'm gonna learn everything I need to build the leading AI video agency for B2B tech in the UK, and sharing it all right here. Let's get it.
Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm...
We are just under 2 days away from leaving for Belgium. We are going with a 3-person production crew. We're trying to disrupt the £55 billion market. They've been around since the 70s and really well-established brand. But ultimately, when you've been in the space for so long, obviously, naturally things change, right? And it's like, how do you leverage the heritage that they have, but also how do you like disrupt and keep innovating? That's kind of a bit of an update as to where we are, what we're doing, how things are flowing, and yeah. Vibes.
Red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the floor, the keys, we
Our current situation is that there's an IT error when booking the tickets, and unfortunately, for some reason, I put my name twice. I'm hoping that ultimately this problem can be solved. It's very much down to the guys at the ticket office. We'll see what happens. How do you stay relevant in a $55 billion market when your brand was built before email was even popular? See, this week we worked with Chapman Freeborn, a £450 million company that's been flying since 1973. They're global, they're respected, but here is the challenge. In a world moving at AI speed, how do you reintroduce yourself to the market while leveraging your legacy? That is the big question. And that's what we set out to fix, because this brand has some big, bold goals. Hi guys, we did it! Problem averted. All right, so Chris, how does it feel being O for the day? How does it feel?
Passport as well?
You get my passport,
Yeah.
He's pretty much got the beard.
Yeah.
He's gonna
We
get
look
about
pretty
like
similar.
4 shades darker. We got the cap on here, you know what I mean? Like, we're about the same height, you know? So my vocabulary is about to increase, that's what I'm saying. Because he uses words I don't use, so I'm gonna call him Chris Synchro.
Chris Synchro.
That's his new name.
Sigbala.
That's Sigbala. That's his name. That is his name for the day.
Does this mean you're a criminal though?
What? Gee. What? What are you trying to say, bro? What are you trying to say? The sun is shining. We are literally in a place called Anne's. That's where we are right now. I'm exceptionally warm. I can't wait to get to the B&B. We need to book a taxi. We're about 11 minutes from home. Oh, it's two things, you know what I'm talking about, right? So basically, right now we're in Anne's. We're going to a place called Liège, you know what I mean? So we can liège around. So I did that.
Boom.
See, most people think that brand is just for startups, but if anything, it matters even more when you've been around for decades. Legacy comes with baggage, conflicting stories, complicated org charts, and everyone has their different version of what this brand is about, and sometimes it doesn't quite align with what people actually see your brand as. Because, fun fact, the perception that people have of your business is your brand, but you can influence that perception, and that is the magic of marketing. Okay, so Chapman came to us with one goal. They wanted to almost like reintroduce themselves to the market. This was one of 4 projects running across their brand system that we were supporting them with, all of which are very top of funnel focused, designed to warm up both old partners, but also new prospects, but of course, still cinematic. The first project was focused on cargo, one of their core offerings, and instead of doing the usual explainer, we wanted to take a very different approach. See, we built a brand film that shows their presence through time, but also as well their movement forward towards innovation. We almost wanted it to feel lived in, emotional, less scripted, more orchestrated, and we wanted that to come across in how we film.
We ready?
Guys, today is the day. We are currently in Liège, making our way to the airport. It is about 9:15 and we're about to kick off, which I'm exceptionally excited for. A lot of brands this size are trying to modernize, but the fact is that typically they end up looking exceptionally generic, but not Chapman Freeborn. They're about to take over this entire space and it's about to get litty.
How are you?
You know, we wanted to get as creative as possible. So we played around with POV shots, Snorri-Cam handhelds. We just did everything we could, right, to make a crate look as interesting as possible, letting natural motion and sound do the heavy lifting. You know, access to planning was tricky, so not everything we wanted was possible to begin with. So we got scrappy. You know, we used AI to pre-visualize scenes. We matched archive research with real locations. We made sure that the visual language evolved with each era. So the story moved through time just like they do.
That's the end of day one.
Well, I didn't call it day one, but it was a version of day one at least. Yeah. Something happened today, guys. That's all that matters. If you're enjoying this video, I want y'all to just hit pause, subscribe, like, and then resume. Guys, today's been an interesting day. So we didn't get our day pass that we were supposed to. Not down to the guys, there's some complications. We ended up waiting around for 4 hours. We then ended up filming something, which is great. More pressure on tomorrow, but you know, we got this. Now we're currently standing in the sun. It is around probably 20 degrees. Yeah, 20 to 20 degrees. There's a strike today on all public transport, so we are just standing in the middle of nowhere, 2 hours away from where we need to be. Spirits are high. Spirits are high, man. let's get it. This wasn't just a vibe film. See, every shot, every line was rooted in strategy. And we did this because we ran a clarity sprint. It's KV's process for turning a legacy brand and value proposition like this into a sharp, repeatable story, which meant a bunch of things. Number one, repositioning Chapman from just a vendor to an orchestrator, and then telling one clear story. When time matters most, we move what matters most. This was the emotional anchor to this entire strategy. That clarity let the creative breathe without losing the core plot. Let's get it, guys. Let me show you what we're working with, guys. It looks absolutely fantastic. Look at that. If we bump that up just there, we got the main core camera. We got Chris on the gimbal, George on the A-cam, going to be traveling through time, creating stillness with emotion. So this is gonna be a static shot and everything around it's gonna change. Gonna be utilizing AI to kind of bring all of this here to life in terms of what we're seeing. Like within the era that we are in today, right? Like tech startups being spun up in seconds, like, you know, there's over like 200,000, for example, like SaaS companies within Europe alone, right? And again, there is just so many tools out there now that are elevating how fast it is to take a product to market. Branding is becoming more and more important. It's like, and how you leverage that brand is everything. So let's bring this back to you. Whether you're launching something new, relaunching your brand, or just trying to shake things up. There are 3 massive lessons here that apply to every brand that want to lead and not just exist. Number 1, how to position a legacy brand like a challenger. The trap that most established brands fall into is that they lead with credentials, milestones, heritage, which used to be okay, but those things don't work anymore. They just describe, they aren't the thing that make you different. See, what we did with the Chapman Freeborn and what you can do too is flip the story. Instead of saying that we've been around for 50 years, we asked, what do we make possible because we've been around for 50 years? The narrative is shifting here. See, that subtle shift moved them from sounding like a supplier to showing up as a strategic asset. The takeaway here is that don't start with your timeline. Start with your impact. Lead with the problem that you solve now. Number 2, how we use AI to pre-visualize time-shifting scenes and why that unlocks storytelling without limits. We had limited access to locations to begin with when it came to the pre-prep, but that didn't stop us. We used AI to pre-visualize the scenes to really get an idea of what we're working with. So we mocked up how different time periods might look, aligned lighting and tone across decades, and built a creative plan around what we couldn't see yet. It helped us shoot faster, make smarter creative calls, and keep the story on track. That's the first win. But here is the bigger shift. AI removes production friction. I know, I'm gonna say it. See, you are no longer limited by budget, location, or what's realistically shootable. Now it's about who is telling the most compelling story, who has the clearest strategy, who executes with the least fluff. Because when access is no longer a barrier, clarity is 100% your edge. The takeaway here is that AI isn't just a shortcut, it is the amplifier to creativity and strategy. Use it to stretch imagination, pressure test narratives, craft scenes that actually stick. The brands that win won't just look good. They'll make meaning at speed. See, using story and strategies to outpace bigger players with more resources, and that's what puts everyone on the same playing field.